right, back at you one more time. This is Rage Across the Internet. I'm your host, Porter. To my left, we've got producer Joey.
Hey, guys.
To my right, once again in studio, Mr. Danwell Tyson.
Danwell? What the hell, dude?
And coming at us through the handy-dandy Weaver machine, we have our old friend Christopher Kading. Chris, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back, guys. And Danwell. I like Danwell. Can we use that now?
No, absolutely not.
That's very dignified, I thought.
Nope.
I like it.
So.
Nope.
Yeah. You know, it's like
It is now.
of the North Portland Danwells.
It is now Danwell from now on.
It's formal. It's I Can't Breathe Poor People there. It's very Silver Fang.
No. Already no.
It's your Silver Fang name.
Nope. Like, I say no like you guys are going to give me a damn choice.
It's weird that you do. It just, man, makes it seem like we're being mean to you or something.
I'm going to say no enough times that everyone on the Discord is going to start saying it too.
And you know this already.
Yeah.
And they're going to want a Patreon tier. I mean, it's...
That you getting hit in the nuts with the football thing really took off. People want that now, and I'm not a part of it.
I know, that's the one who started it.
I'm not encouraging it, though.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry?
I don't know what happened. I'm just sitting here.
So,
Hagtash, I'm sitting here.
if you want to see Danwell Tyson get hit in the nuts, go join the Patreon.
Why would you help?
That's almost worth it on my end.
See?
See?
We've had people talk about it just for that.
The Patreon, man, it's a sacrifice.
We do have a Patreon. We've said it 30 times. We do have a Patreon. Danwell getting hit in the balls is not part of it.
No, it really isn't.
But hanging out with us on Discord, watching crappy movies is. Mm-hmm. And
at least that's a good time.
Right? And then we got bonus features and stuff. We have last month we had a behind the scenes reel.
Yes.
Of Joey being sneaky and hitting record when we weren't aware of it.
That was so much
Good
fun
times.
to edit.
And I think
Such good times.
I think we got a reading, a dramatic reading.
Yeah.
Coming for next month, so that'll be neat. And we're going to jump into postmortems of some of our old games.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
That's going to be cool.
That's going to be the $10 tier. And then for our top tier, it's our NPC of the Month Club, where once a month I pull an NPC out of my Bible and hand it to you to do with what you please.
Those are always so interesting to read.
I really like doing them.
They're very intricate. You go into crazy amounts of detail on those guys.
Well, it's about making them as human as possible. And the world about ended. What was that?
I don't know what that was.
The weird.
Our monitor just said a psychobilly freak out.
But it appears to be okay. Hold
Christoph, are you there?
I'm still here.
The Russians have not invaded.
I
All right, we're
promise.
good. Okay, no Russians.
Okay.
Nope.
No
And there's
invasion.
no cobras in the room.
All the
Nothing
levels,
like that.
all the levels seems okay.
on. Yeah.
It was just a standard psychobilly freak out. No problem.
Standard psychobilly.
You know,
Yeah, I don't know how we got it started on the
I don't know.
Patreon first.
That's fine. We
Yeah,
need it.
that is fine. We were going to talk about it anyway.
it was the Danwell.
Yeah, it was the Danwell.
That's what it was.
I like the sound of it.
It was.
It's dignified. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you make them as human as possible, the NPCs, and I like doing it because that Bible. I first started that NPC Bible in like 2004.
Wow.
Jesus.
So some of those characters, in my brain, they've been updated and changed, but the entries haven't been. So I can streamline those entries and get the best possible version from the revisions over the years.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Psychobilly freak out.
We had our second freak out. One more time, Chris.
And
Did everything okay?
Hello?
Submarine Studios, the Moonbase 12. Are you there, Chris?
Can
He
you
can
hear me?
sword
I
go.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
yes.
We can hear you now.
Sort of.
We were dealing with drive-through rules for a second. Well,
Wow.
Asia is like that, but I think we got a human on the other end now.
I'm pretty sure I'm human.
Wow.
Though some days I question this.
Don't we all?
What
What
are
is it to
you
be human
doing
anymore?
over
I
there?
don't. You realize you're on camera, sir.
We can see you
I know.
fighting a cobra.
This is a family show.
Is it?
Shut up. I don't want to. I don't want to see something.
It's a family show. I gotta start changing some of the settings on our YouTube then.
No, don't do that.
Shit, right? No.
So if you wanna
remember
check
I
us
told
out on
you
YouTube.
how missed the stairs. I'm just putting an ankle brace on, that's all.
Oh, all right, there's
Perfect timing, then.
some personal injury things to be taken care of. You should have just soaked it, but that's, your fault.
Change forms, man. Jeez.
Weak sauce.
I try. I really do.
So for you Rage Across the Internet aficionados, you'll remember... I almost got through that with a straight face. You will remember that Chris joined us in in the first 10 or so.
Number 5 and number 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't know.
No, sorry. I'll take it back.
No.
Number 7 and 8.
It feels a bit more reasonable.
I'm pretty sure he was in number 8 at least.
Yeah, he had 2 in a row.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he is back again, and the reason he's back again is to help us cap off something that should have been done so long ago. It's ridiculous.
Welcome to 2028, when we finally decided to do this.
Yeah, the final episode of our Auspice series. Ladies and gentlemen, it's only taken us since March. Today we are talking about the Galliard.
Woo!
We saved it just for Chris.
The gibbous moon, the moon dancer, the tail singer, the bard, Dance-alvainia. They go by many names.
Dance-alvainia.
I think we had mentioned this too during one of my recordings with you about doing the Galliard episode.
Yeah,
really, we've come full circle.
We have. This was intentional. You have been voluntold to sit down with us and.
No, that's what I mean. We were waiting for Chris the entire time. But we're blaming you for taking this long.
Yes, that is no one else's fault.
Absolutely no one else's. Only Chris.
Only Chris.
He had an injury. He fell down some stairs and chose not to soak.
So it's taken this long to heal.
And he had to get braces for his feet, which is not my understanding of dentistry. But
1 foot.
I can only take the man at his word.
And only a brace. Not braces, just a brace.
Well, I'm sure however it works, your teeth will be all the brighter when it's all over.
Maybe. We'll see.
Now, Producer Joey.
Yes.
In your infinite wisdom.
Oh, boy.
I know. It always sounds like a trap, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why don't you get us started and tell us what the Sam hell a Galliard is?
They are... Oh, there are many things. They are the historians. They are entertainment. They're the record and lore keepers of the Guru Nation.
Okay.
They can hold positions in the sept. Normally it's the Master of the Howl and the Tail Singer. There's just so much to do with them. They can play an instrument. They can write poetry. They have to know the lessons of every auspice so that they can then tell the stories and maybe reenact the fight scenes, maybe not, but they need to know, what an Achround does so they can illustrate what a good Achround did. Or maybe not such a good Achround. So that's, in a nutshell, what the Galliards do. They pass down via story lessons and, parables to help young Guru. Okay,
definitely a large nut indeed.
Yeah. I'm not validating that.
Oh boy.
Poor Danny's gonna die over there.
Probably.
Chris, you look like you got something to add, my friend.
Well, they're artists, and just like Joey said, they do all of that. And because the fact that the Guru Nation is very much an oral, traditional type society or nation, they play a very key and important role in Guru society overall. And quite honestly, without the Galliards, a lot of things would be lost. Take, for example, Porter's favorite story of Krieger Wormfoe and the Death Bear. We didn't have the Galliards, we wouldn't have that story, necessarily.
So what is that story, then, as a Galliard?
That's one I still have to look for. I have to research that one still.
So if a Galliard was at a moot, and he's got to tell that story, Is there a quick version of that?
Well, he doesn't have to tell that story, per se. I think it would be up to the Galliard to choose. In fact, it is up to the Galliard to choose the appropriate story for the appropriate venue. What message do you want to convey? Which lessons do you want to teach? You know, maybe Gregor Wormfro and the Death Bear is appropriate. Probably not. And maybe we need a more relaxed.
Yeah, and I mean, Gregor Wormfo and the Death Bear, I mean, that's a pretty deep story. And
it's a hot button story.
So that's not
really
a story you're
is.
going to tell the Cubs or the Goliaths you're teaching at that point.
Well, it depends on the situation. You know, and it also depends on the crowd. Maybe you need them to chill out, so maybe you tell Gregor Wormfo and the Care Bear. Maybe you,
That doesn't sound like a real story.
How would you know? You're not a Galliard.
You're absolutely right there.
You know?
Exactly.
Well, and it also depends on, you know, what your tribe is and what, you know, the tribes of the seps you're going to are. Because, you know, not everybody is going to be as receptive to Gregor Wormfo and the Death Bear.
Certainly. I can't imagine a Black Fury sept wanting to hear that fucking tale.
Oh.
I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but Gregor Wormfo, that sounds a lot like a Get a Fenris name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to hear that story. But maybe
Not very big fans, huh?
maybe they know it differently.
I was going to bring that up next. Maybe it's a little different per tribe.
You know, the story in particular, Gregor Wormfo, if you're not aware of it, it deals a little bit with the War of Rage and the beginnings of the War of Rage, or a speculated beginning of the War of Rage. So that's already a hot button fucking issue to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, as Chris pointed out, this is the history of the Galliard Nation. These songs and stories, are lessons passed down from the beginning times. And, yeah,
Well, I mean, like, not all of them are taught to the Galliard right at the beginning either. They seek these out, you know. They will find and trade stories with other Galliards, or they'll go and find and trade stories with spirits, even. You know, the Galliards have a whole plethora of knowledge that they need to share and collect at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cool way to think about it.
Let's take this another way, too, is they're also responsible for recounting the deeds of their packs,
Exactly.
of their friends and allies.
Right.
I mean, you think about...
Huge.
Yeah. That's your renown they're playing with now. You know, just to put that in the most practical standpoint for your basic group, that Galliard is responsible for the renown you're getting.
That Galliard is your pack's spin doctor.
Yeah, whether they're the spokesperson.
They got a pocket full of kryptonite. That's how that works.
Well,
What?
it's important to point out, though, in respects to the fact that, yes, they're going to sing your praises and stuff like that as a pack. It's also their job and to maintain their honor to be truthful.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
some might spin it, you know, a little, you know, might leave a little thing off here or there or something like that. But if it comes back, it doesn't hurt just the pack. It hurts that Galliard even more, because then their reputation goes down. They start losing renown and stuff like that.
So what you're saying is they got to be a little careful on the exaggerations.
Absolutely.
A little bit.
Well, and they also have to be careful with what they omit.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, that makes total sense.
You know, I mean...
You know, a Galliard could have sung up, you know, Danny losing or Hunter losing his arm, you know, could have brought that and elevated it up way high, you know, even though maybe the circumstances weren't that great right there, but they can elevate that and make it seem like, oh my God, he sacrificed his arm for Gaia. Things like that.
When in truth, we just don't let him grate cheese anymore.
No, I told you. It's
Right?
What happened? I cut myself shaving.
That's one hell of a shaving job there, my friend.
Yeah.
That's what I say every time an NPC asks me what happened.
I mean, were you trying to shave your arm off in Kronos? I mean...
That's just what I used it once, and I've stuck to it every time. Anytime a new NPC asks, "Hey, what happened? Why don't you have an arm?" I cut myself shaving every time. I know it's a little bit of a ragabash thing, but it's stuck, and it's funny as hell every time, except the porter.
He certainly believes that.
Like I said, accept the
your
border.
story, though, and you're sticking to it.
Exactly.
Good thing
Whereas a
you're not the
Galliard would...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good thing I'm not a Galliard, though.
And they would go into huge, just go into it and make it sound either or really crappy, depending upon if they like you or not.
Yeah, I mean they can talk you down just as much as they can talk you up.
No, you're right.
And they can affect your renown that way.
Mm-hmm.
So they can make you the don't ever do that example. So
luckily, it's happened only a handful of times.
Oh.
Ooh.
Wow. So Porter, I hear you're looking for a Galliard. I'm willing to just remote in for your games if you want.
I'm so glad he said Galliard and not Philodox.
We might be looking for one of them too.
Day's not over yet. That's
an option.
That's a conversation.
Yeah.
It's not a right now conversation.
We'll take that answer off the air.
Yeah, we'll ponder that because a good Galliard is hard to find, and I'm not very well known for my kindness.
Yeah.
Or I think maybe it might be the, again, and I feel like I've said this recently. Show don't tell.
Yeah.
Is one of our mantras. Has us ring the bell. So you don't sit around at the table and go, I recount these stories and roll dice. If you were to do that, everyone would look at you like you got hit in the head because you just screamed at a room full of Garo, I recount these stories. You're expected to actually do it. And, for us, it's, and I will say, I say to be fair, that I'm not judging you, like if you decide you want to stand up and sing a song, like actually sing. By all means, if that's what you want to do, go for it. I'm not going to grade you on pitch or rhyme scheme.
Toe doesn't rhyme with button.
Yeah, but it's about the effort. The effort you put in comes back, and that's the important thing that you've tried. However, that's a lot. I understand that can be, people can get nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, it's intimidating.
Well, it shouldn't be. Just do your job.
And
I'm just speaking out of personal preference there.
Yeah.
And I mean, singing isn't the only thing.
No, you could tell a poem, you could tell a story.
Yeah, and I don't like the Merry Bard concept.
What, the what concept?
Merry Bard, the Bard from D&D, with the lute and
D Bard.
See, you guys are talking gibberish right
Robin
now.
Hood,
Okay, I know Robin Hood, but you got to remember, I know absolute shit about D&D.
It's the musician
You know what
that
a bard is,
travels
though, right?
from town to town singing jaunty tunes.
The Witcher.
Okay.
Is his friend.
Gotcha.
A bard.
That makes more sense now. See? Thank you. You guys are all looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm sorry.
We have to explain things in terms of Witcher now? Okay.
He got it, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely got it.
He did.
I fucking win. Take that, you hosers.
High five, Porter.
Yoga hoses?
2 high fives? I'll take it.
First was pretty weak.
Wow.
You're right.
You're a witness to this, man. You chose to be here.
You have a front row seat.
Indeed, I do.
I'm sorry.
Hey, a quick aside, while we sort of regroup from that nonsense, how's life over at Strange Empire Gaming?
It's holding together. This COVID thing is still sucking like none other, but we're managing and slowly getting there. In fact, I'm doing this from my shop right now, and there are people actually in the front room of the shop actually playing games right now. So that's always fun.
Excellent.
They're doing it, being respectful to the whole COVID social distancing thing and everything else like that. So
Are they playing Werewolf? And if not, what the hell?
And why haven't you kicked them out yet if they haven't?
No, you educate them. You don't kick them out.
Okay, I take it back. Why haven't you educated them yet?
I'm working on one of them.
Beat them with a core book.
Or a casing.
Or a casing.
We are learning a lot about...
Listen, I'm working on one.
One at a time. Got it.
Learn a lot about people today. Beat them with a core book.
In a
Holy
pillow?
shit, Joey.
Put that core book in a pillowcase?
No. We replaced the baseball bat in the casing with the core book.
You know, I think there's room for variations by region.
Depending on the tribe.
I think by region. You know, I think like if we go down south to the bayou, you could replace it with an oar.
Yeah. But
Somewhere with a lot of water.
You didn't like my suggestion?
I can see that.
I'm surprised at you. Surprised to hear that from you. I was going to suggest coughing on the door handle and going, look, I guess you should play werewolf so you can soak this.
Oh, man.
See, the bummer thing is he's laughing here, but they can't see that.
It's okay, Chris. You can laugh, too. He's trying not to.
I'm laughing on the inside. I have to... Yeah, anyways.
You don't want to be associated with that, Joe. Don't understand.
So, back to the Galliard.
Yes. I just wanted to give a quick little plug for the man.
So, they entertain people, educate people, sing, talk up and talk down for renown, or to take renown away.
Sounds like you're writing a song right now.
One thing
Producer
I did...
Joey's a new Galliard?
No.
They talk up and down for renown?
One thing I did find interesting is one of their rites is a funerary rite.
Yes. That's another big important thing for them. They also have a howl for it. They have a number of howls, but they have a howl for the departed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a... Guru society celebrates death differently than human society. They recount all the deeds of the fallen. They also... what am I trying to say? Joey, what am I trying to say?
You're on the right path. You're on the right path. This is producer Joey. And because those fallen heroes, those stories have to be passed. And the Galliard is the one who passes the stories of those great heroes.
So is it more like they're celebrating that life rather than mourning the death?
Yes, that's true. But with the rite, that's the gathering for the departed, it's making everything right with the deceased Guru.
Okay.
So that they can then come back as an ancestor spirit to talk with the descendants.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's helping elevate them to that ancestor spirit level, which I thought was really neat.
No, that's really cool. Continue their knowledge.
Again, it's like it's an important role of the Galliard, what else? Although some tribes don't have access to their ancestors.
That's very true.
That is very true.
I wonder if there's a tribe like that is going to be talked about sometime in the future.
Very soon.
I've heard rumors, but...
I feel like it's bullshit, those rumors. Because we know what our history is with tribal episodes.
Because it's like 7 days from now, maybe.
I mean, probably weeks.
It's cursed.
7 or
It is a very cursed series, isn't it?
No more.
I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder if I might be cursed too, because
we know you're cursed.
But I probably am. Weaver stuff.
Well, you were the one that was walking around smashing mirrors with hammers last week. So really, I do not feel bad for you.
I try my best. I really do. Try to bring balance to the world.
By smashing mirrors?
Yes.
Someone's got to.
So, when I was reading the Auspice book, there was a sentence that I found rather controversial.
Controversy in Werewolf the Apocalypse?
I know.
Who are you kidding?
Thought.
I'm going to stay quiet for a little bit.
Who are you kidding right now?
And save Joey some editing work. Because I got like 4 or 5 jokes that will not make it to air. The 3 of you have fun.
So, what I read stated that Galliards are the natural betas of a pack.
I mean, I can kind of see it. I mean, you go back to the the moon phases, right? Mm-hmm. The Hourhound being the full moon. Mm-hmm. Probably has the most rage.
Okay.
The next one, would be the Galliard. So they're still combat oriented, just not as much as the Hourhound.
But why does that make them a good beta?
I'm reaching. Again, if you want to go in rage aspects, you got Hourhound, and then you got Galliard. So 1, 2, there you go.
I don't...
Oh, you're looking at more natural packing order, is what Danny's looking at.
Right, okay.
That's exactly, Chris. Thank you.
But
exactly what I was looking
more to being in a pack than just, I'm a giant rage monster.
Right.
This is true. In the case of the Galliard being the natural alpha, I mean, Aurons are stated as being the natural alphas, and, that's not always true, though.
Right.
I've been in packs where I've had a Ragbash as my alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's always going to always depends on that group.
It's going to be very situational. It's going to be depending upon what your pack is doing. But for a Galliard to be a natural beta, I believe it is pretty spot on for them. They are the eyes. They keep watch over every part of the pack. It is their job, because they have to watch and see what's going on during the battle and stuff like that. They're right there in the thick of it. They're not off to the side going, go team go, like traditional bards in D&D are. They're right there with with their whole pack. And to be able to keep tabs on every single person in the pack is a huge responsibility. It may not necessarily be beta worthy, but in my opinion, if the alpha is going to ask anybody in the pack, what's going on, what's happened, the Galliard is most likely going to be the one to speak up and say, this is it, and be able to recount those details fully.
See, and if they had made that argument in the book, that would have made sense. The argument that they posited was the alpha, the Acheron, says, okay, everybody do your training. And the Galliard goes, oh, Frank's not doing his training. And it's just a giant friggin' tattletale.
That's a very poor depiction of it. I more personally see a Ragbash as being the tattletales, honestly. But
well, no, see, the Ragbash is the guy breaking the rule. The Philodox, he's the hall monitor. Mrs. Sanderson, you forgot to give us homework over the weekend. and now we have this picture of the Galliard is our second hall monitor. And all I gotta say is snitches get stitches, man.
Going, Frank, you forgot to tell Mrs. Sanderson that she didn't give us homework.
Right. I was watching and he didn't do a double flip. He just did a single flip. And you should make him... You shut up and flip yourself, stupid. Why isn't that Galliard doing the work too? Bullshit.
Oh, trust me, he is. It's just that is... that's kind of a poor example in the book.
Just keep your eyes on the road, damn it.
Jesus.
Oh, we love Galliards.
I actually really do. Despite the fact that you guys are terrified of them.
Well,
again, it's an intimidation thing, and how do you do well against a storyteller who's already naturally good at storytelling?
But it's not against.
Yeah.
It's not versus.
Well, you say that.
We're not going to rap battle.
Then I'd win, right?
You might win.
Oh.
Visit Patreon. You'll know what I'm talking about.
My name is Garu, and I see Aru.
But again, if you're good at rap battles, you can have one at a mood.
It's
good.
Expression.
It is. That would be very interesting, depending on your sept.
Yeah.
I would love, and I'm never going to see it, but I would love to see, you got the mood, maybe even in Schwarzwald, maybe even in the Black Force, the Sept of the Blood Fist itself, the heart of the Get Empire, and I'm choosing to use the words Get Empire because it makes me happy. It'd have some one-armed, scrawny freak get up there. You don't have to be one-armed. I don't know why I look to you. You are not a Galliard. I am sorry, Danny.
Yeah.
But, some scrawny dude in, like, the baggy pants and, like, the hoodie walk up and just start scatting about, like, they're taking out Pentex. Like, maybe do, like, a little salt and pepper dance number, about how,
God.
about how they fought Sam Hyatt and they managed to get away and, like, they fucked up his plan. And, and the next guy does interpretive dance about...
That sounds like a Children of Gaia move.
Which, you see why I want to see it in the different...
Dance?
Yeah.
Hey, setting sun, drop me a beat.
Oh, fuck.
That's it, right there.
Done.
Oh. Done.
Are you sure?
Oh.
Are you sure?
No. I don't know.
But there were examples in the book of different, ways to go about it for the different tribes. Like the Glasswalkers could have multimedia presentations with animations and,
PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm already bored.
Totally.
Yeah, she's like, boring.
And, like, the Stargazers might have, like, the Japanese Noah dramas.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. The Silent Striders have a type of interpretive dance. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it sounded really intriguing in itself.
I know the Get have a long history of working with sock puppets.
Actually, entertainingly enough, the Get are the most likely to reenact fighting scenes.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
And take quote volunteers from the audience.
Yeah, volunteers.
Yeah.
Don't forget the air quotes.
Oh,
And
man.
some people actually do, though, in the Get Offenders moods and stuff like that. People will literally volunteer for some of that.
Oh yeah.
Which I found was neat.
No, not to cut you off.
Finea, every Finea is a Galliard, pretty much. Big, huge drunken revelries. That's pretty much the Finea. Or Fiona.
Thank you.
I was going to ask. I was waiting for you to finish.
There's a little bit of confusion over here.
All right. Regional dialects? I don't know. My group calls them Finea, Fiona, whatever.
Fiona.
The other one, though, that they mentioned in the book, and I thought this was kind of interesting, was the fact that someone had seen a Black Spiral moot.
Yes. Yeah.
And they actually described Galliards in the Black Spirals. And it was kind of creepy and fascinating at the same time.
Yeah, but you kind of... okay, Porter's got his hand raised.
How much vomit does this include? I feel like vomit is an active proponent of a Black Spiral Galliard's routine.
Are they called
You're
Galliards?
not far off.
I don't know if they were or not, but...
Are they the same auspices with the Black Spirals?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there are questions that I don't have answers to.
They're a werewolf.
They're Garu.
And I know they're Garu, but, like, and they're assholes. But, like, are
No,
they
all
different?
of them, not just in the asshole.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
No,
is it different because it's a different, I don't want to say tribe, because obviously it's another tribe, but like...
But, I mean, that's...
But Wormtail.
Right, but no, it's the same stuff.
Well, now I know.
Half the battle. Now, back to the vomit.
I think it was described as a tent revival in the 7th ring of hell.
Yes. And it's a sight to behold. And to kind of wheel back just a little bit, in part of the book it even described a Galliard who successfully infiltrated a pack of Black Spirals. Convinced them that she's like working on her pack to try and fall and everything else like that, just to lure these guys into a trap. And I thought that was kind of neat.
Respect.
Yeah,
So
right?
it was her that saw all that stuff.
That's crazy.
But that's just, small things that the Galliards can do.
It makes sense that it'd be a Galliard to do it, because they're the ones who would be able to convince them.
It's
very much so.
Yeah. I think a Galliard has to. Well, I mean, maybe I should open that up. What do you all think that playing a Galliard? What do you think would be helpful to get the most out of that experience? I mean, obviously, I think thinking on your feet is going to be helpful. I think
that's the big one.
I think a level of artistic ability, be it through poetry or song or a way with words, I think would be a big thing. But what else does it take?
Well, there are Galliards that use painting and other visual forms, not just, songs and stories and poetry. There are visual artists.
I think that do sand paintings, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
What about mime?
Sure.
Yeah.
I was really hoping
have a mime Galliard.
It sounds like a bad idea.
Marcel.
See him strutting his stuff with the, maybe the Fianna. I don't want to go back to the Get again, but
yeah,
maybe it'll be a real hit at
the Wendigo.
Yep, the Wendigo moot. It'd be a real hit.
Oh yeah,
that's where you pull out the mime, right? I think it's the best place for it.
Well, the Wendigo moots tend to tell bloody, brutal stories about things that should not be.
I think a mime definitely qualifies. Oh.
Yeah.
To any mime listeners out there, bring it. I'm all ears, whatever you got to say. Thank you.
Well, we've got all this stuff for like Hamid Galliards, but what about the lupus?
That is
lupus
a
have a pretty
question.
Interesting thing when it comes to being Galliards.
Does anyone here at the table know anything about that?
I don't. That's a really awesome question that I wish I knew answers to.
I think you'll be surprised.
Please tell me.
Well, I mean, okay, so they've got all the different howls.
Right. That's the first thing I thought of was
vocalizations,
howls.
Yeah. Then they have their body movements, which body language is a form of language.
Mm-hmm. It's like interpretive dance.
But then they can actually change the smells that they emit to add, enhance, and be a form of language.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I was kind of shocked when I was reading that. I would never have thought that.
No, because being in lupus, obviously they're not growing up human, so they're trying to do different ways. What's the best sense for a wolf, right? Smell.
Yeah.
So for them to be able to manipulate that, that makes a lot of sense, and it's really cool to think of.
Yeah. I was like, wow, okay. It makes all the sense in the world when you read it, but, being in the human mindset, I did not think of that. And that just illustrates that I'm not ready to play a lupus.
That's a good point.
I second that.
And let's move on just beyond that. I mean, the language barriers, we bring up here, because yes, there's the Garo High Tongue.
Right.
It's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's not always the best way to get a story across. And again, that's up to the Galliard to know that and to figure out ways around it. But the Galliard also have a pretty solid list of gifts to help them communicate and to get the most out of what they do. And, what do we know about those?
I think my favorite of that gift list is mind speech, which actually allows the Galliard to communicate with pretty much anything via telepathy.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
This group is well versed in abusing that gift. Yes.
I don't know about abusing, but all right, abusing. That's fine.
But they also have a gift, I believe, that allows them to understand and communicate in foreign languages.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
I don't have it written down, but
it would make sense why it would be there. If they can do mind speech, why not?
I think that's still mind speech, though. I think that falls under that purview.
Well, I'm thinking.
I could be wrong.
No, the gift I'm thinking of is, I want to call it tongues, but I'm not sure, because there's the one where you're just saying gibberish.
Yeah.
And there's the one where you know what you're saying, and I get those confused.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
There's one where you can just be like, hip hop, time travel, phalanges.
Turtle. Stop sign.
Turtle stop sign, Waco, Texas, I'm on the moon. And they heard whatever in their language perfectly what needed to happen.
Gotcha.
And then there's, the one that maybe you know what you've said.
Well, there's the Bonar rant and rave.
Yes, it's not dissimilar.
Yeah, and that's they're just screaming whatever.
At the end is near, wax lips, whatever, tiger pelt.
And they can communicate across the city with their Pac-Man.
Right, I remember that one.
That one was really awesome.
But there are also, if I recall, there are Galliard gifts that will let the shadows come alive and will you tell the story, frame it while they're speaking, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, the shadow puppets and stuff, but
yeah.
Porter trying to make shadow puppets right now.
There's shadows.
There are shadows.
I don't know why the rabbit had bat wings, but shut up. Famor are weird. Baits are weird.
They also have gifts that will amplify or increase the effect of their howls too. I think, what is that? It's a level 1 gift for the Galliard. It's called the Wild, I think.
Okay.
They will let out like an anthem of war howl or something to that nature, and it can impart other bonuses to Guru that hear it, while they're fighting. So they are kind of like, that cheerleader off to the side, but still in the thick of things.
Better be, lazy ass.
Stop tattling on poor Frank.
Right? Guy's got enough trouble.
Damn it, Frank. No, but at the same time, they're not just the performers, right? They're the lore keepers. You call them the historians.
Yes.
They're the teachers.
That was the next one I was going to say.
Counselors.
Teachers. Yeah, I think that's just as much of a big deal.
The prophets.
Yeah.
Well, and let's not forget the keepers of the silver record, which is the cream of the crop in terms of the accomplishments of the nation.
Okay, whatever.
I guess.
If you say so.
No,
I guess.
No, that was the callback from another episode.
So we did tell that story.
Yes, we did.
Okay, because I remember there was some conversation in the past as to whether or not that ever made air.
Yeah, I know.
That's in the silver record.
The story of the silver record that ends with
we killed some stuff and then
whatever I guess.
Whatever I guess.
Legendary.
Yeah, totally.
And that goes back
why
to
you just don't do dice rolls for that anymore.
That's right.
That was exactly what I was going to say. That's why there's no more dice rolls, and that's why it's show, don't tell.
You put in the effort, I will be kind. Put in the effort. Don't you, I guess me, you...
Get out.
And I mean, just because we don't have a Galliard, we don't get out of moot scot-free.
No.
It's not like, okay, you guys are exempt. You can pick up your renown on the way out.
And in fact, it's worse because, at least where you are, no one gives a shit that you don't have a Galliard.
No.
There's not special treatment. Because Kazai's not like, you deserve a trophy anyway. That's not
you get a pass. No, I actually remember, I think it's W20. It specifically says if the pack does not have a Galliard, the Philodox is responsible for being the spokesperson at a moot.
Bonus. Score.
Well then.
Yeah, I know. And then that sucks, but...
Think of all that renown you're not going to get.
I know.
Oh.
Maybe.
But so, I think
okay, I guess.
If a person is thinking about playing a Galliard or they're interested in the concept, sit down and have a talk with the storyteller, because you can always practice.
Oh, yeah, right.
Actors don't go up on stage and just the first time they get their lines and just go.
No, but that makes what we do tougher than actors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, improv.
You three creeps
don't have lines.
Are better than Tom Cruise.
That's not hard.
Okay.
I wish you were right I wish you were right, because I would like that kind of money.
Tom Cruise has to rehearse.
Yeah.
He gets to rehearse.
He gets to rehearse.
He gets people following him around when he's riding his Harley so they can pick it up and turn it around so that he doesn't have to do that. You have to turn your own vehicle around, sir.
I know. Thanks for reminding me.
And you over there in the internet world?
Weaverland.
Weaverland? Yes.
Weaverland?
Chris Katie from Weaverland, Idaho.
I'm moving. Screw this nonsense. I'm packing up the shop. We're leaving.
You'd have to pack that up yourself. Tom Cruise, you don't have to pack up shit.
Screw Tom Cruise.
See?
We are better than him.
You are better than him. You are all three better than Tom Cruise. Mm-hmm. You're three little Tom Cruise pluses.
That's just insulting.
Tom Cruise is already little.
Plus.
So combined, does that make us Benicio del Toro?
I don't know. I'm not.
That's hopeful. I had a lot of fun with that little tangent, but my point here is, actual practice is a great idea.
Yeah.
But there's some credit that needs to be given to the Galliard.
Yeah.
Especially. And then people taking the Galliard's role, and sure. And to an extent, everyone sitting down at a game deserves some credit too. But to stand up amongst your group and to tell that story, be it the Prophecy of the Phoenix or Kreger Wormphone the Death Bear or
what your pack did last week.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. That does take some. First of all, it takes some guts, a level of guts. I'll give it to you. It takes some skill, absolutely, to get it, to do it right, to do it well. And they're second takes.
No, and if you're the Galliard or you're the unlucky one voted to get up and tell the story, you can always tag your table mates and be like, guess what? You're getting up and you're illustrating.
I've done it. I've thrown, I don't want to say throw him under the bus, but I'm like, okay, Tom, what you did was absolute fantastic at this point. You should tell this part.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about telling. I'm talking about while you're telling the story, you tap them on the shoulder, say, get up here, and you're acting it out.
Well, that too. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But which in both ways are valid, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just, the hat's off, to the Galliard. For the Galliards that go the extra mile.
Yeah.
The hat is out to them for going the extra mile. Which I don't want to sit there and praise a dude who says, I guess, hit him in the silver record now. That guy sucks. Do better.
No, but at the same time, for everything you just said, kind of throws the next question out of the water. Is why is the Galliard the least important part?
Oh, so you were going to steal my question?
Well, no, not stealing it. We're using it for every auspice. And why not say it? But that's why not say it, because everything you've just mentioned.
Well, no, I mean...
No, it's still a valid question.
We can get by without a Galliard.
Yeah, you can, but should you?
My personal thought on that is no.
Do tell, because I have the opposite.
Neat grudge match. Let's go. Let's do it.
I will totally beat up Chris.
This is a different bell.
Probably. If I don't stumble over my own words, and make my point less valid. But
okay.
No, I mean, in a perfect world, you would have all 5 auspices. But sometimes you don't always have that option.
Werewolf the Apocalypse being in a perfect world?
There are some auspices... sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
I'm just saying, being in the Apocalypse, it's already not a perfect world.
Exactly. The pack that I'm running with right now, we don't have a Phylodox. And we're kind of okay with that. Because our pack views the Phylodox as the least desirable and one we can get away with because, the Ragbash can pick up this part of the litany and, the Galliard can pick up this part, All the auspices are kind of multifaceted in some way, shape, or form. Galliards, though, being able to express your renown for the group, I feel is a little bit more important than not having one. Also, having that morale boost, the guy that, kicks everyone up and gets them ready for fighting is huge, especially in a world where...
Ooh, Joey's got you. So he's the hype man.
Especially.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, Kind of. I mean, the Aron can threaten and intimidate their pack into doing it, but the Galliard can inspire them, get them motivated to actually get up and go. You know, they are the rebel rousers. They're the ones who help incite and calm down, you know, other packs at moots. You know, getting ready for combat, stuff like that.
But guaranteed at a moot. Guaranteed at a moot, there's probably a 98% chance there's going to be at least one Galliard. So your pack maybe doesn't need it. So, you know, I think that the Galliard's the least necessary because anyone can tell a story of what they did, you know.
Can you tell it to make yourselves look better?
Maybe. That's a hard maybe.
Hard maybe. So.
But I mean, how often are you going to moots? Because if you go to moots too often, you're not out there doing the other stuff.
But you know, Galliards actually can get it right that they can actually, you know, say your deeds to the spirits without going to a moot. So you have to go to a moot in order to get your renown, right?
Yeah.
So Galliard can actually help you with that without having to go to moots, so you can actually stay out on the field longer.
It's like a drive-by redowning.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Like, how often are they doing this? Why can't they just like take a vacation and go to a moot?
Now this has been an interesting little. Like I've sit back and watch this play out since we had the.
Yeah.
You know.
Drive-through renown.
But yeah, they're partners with us too. You can check drive-through renown.com.
Kickback.
Yeah, we get a points of honor.
Wisdom.
Yep.
We get wisdom for. We get a little percentage.
Well, I get glory.
I'll take whatever I can get.
What's happening? No, but you know, I want to sit back and kind of watch that play out for a bit. But to interject myself, I think we ask that question every time is why isn't this the worst one? This one sucks. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, that's the bigger point. It's prove me wrong.
Right, and it's I would say it's because the Galliard, they're not maybe they're not the heart of the nation. Maybe they're not. But they're definitely the memory. They're which I mean is the McCoy.
Right.
We're not. Let's leave the weird Sauruses out of this. They use thesauruses. That's a different thing. I'm sorry, that was terrible, but it's
still funny.
But it's the history. It's the past, and there are so many. I mean, can you imagine? You look at the Lost Tribes. And the lessons that should have been imparted through the loss of those tribes, but without the Galliard,
we wouldn't know them.
Right, they'd just be forgotten. Those lessons would be gone. The history, the ancient heroes and the great battles would be gone. The lessons we learned from the end of the Impersium would be gone. Only to make those mistakes again and again. Not only that, we lose our future. We lose the tales of every battle that you guys haven't fought yet.
Right.
They are the past. They are the future. It's that. It seems like it's not important from a practical standpoint because, we have to fight the worm. But getting that message out there, the message of that battle maybe is what inspires other cubs to get out there and fight the good fight. Or maybe they survive a battle because they've heard the story of another battle that went a particular way, of a crippling loss or a resounding victory.
Okay, so what you're explaining and what you're sounding like, it sounds like more of a veteran Galliard.
That's any Galliard. Okay, that's the job, man.
True. No, I get where you're going with it, but as a brand new player, how would they go about playing a Galliard?
I guess you start small. You learn. You seek out those stories. And of course you keep close to your pack. And I mean that's the basic. If you do a bad job of being a Galliard, it's just going to be recounting those tales. But then you find the tales that speak to you, I think, as a player, and you start there. Are you expected to know every, read through all these books, get every single one of the tales of the Galliard Nation? I don't think anyone realistically expects that of you. It's a finite amount of books, certainly.
That's a lot of story.
But it's finite. It's possible, but I don't think that's expected of you.
And you can also come up with your own tales and give them,
life and flair.
And guru names and go.
I'm just trying to stick with our format, man. That's all.
No, you're doing your job. And so I guess we ask this next question, is that would you recommend the Galliard for a new player?
I don't know if I would recommend it for a new player.
Yeah, for a new player, it might be difficult because they're, trying to learn those stories. A veteran player, as long as they're a good storyteller, that sounds awesome.
Well, even if they're not, don't you think it would be a good way to learn to be a good storyteller if you had aspirations?
That was going to be my next point. Or if they want to be a good storyteller.
Yeah, take that.
That's the way to do it.
Chris, what do you think?
It would depend on the individual. If they want to go for it, I would encourage them. I would point them in the direction that they needed to go and kind of help them flesh that out. If it's someone who's ho-humming and not sure what they want to play, probably not. But I think it's fun to challenge people, honestly. And if someone's looking for that challenge, a Galliard is a great challenge,
that's a
even
huge
for a new
challenge.
player.
Yeah, and everybody knows that in Porter stories, the Galliard has to know Gregor Wormfoe and the Death Bear. That's story number one.
And then story number 2 is Gregor Wormfoe and the Care Bear.
Well, yeah, and then
And then 3 would be Prophecy of Phoenix.
Well, then there's
No.
No,
it's Gregor Wormfoe and the X-Bear.
That's right. That's
then
right, Bub.
it's Prophecy of the Phoenix. Okay.
That's right, Bub.
Yeah.
Bub. Yeah. That's how I see where you're going with it.
You see, Joey and I are going to write like the whole chronicle of Gregor Wormfoe and all these bears that he fights.
Yes,
Very specific.
All the bears.
Yeah, it will be a very thick anthology, and it will have a lot of bears.
No one else laughing but me. That's fine. It's still funny.
That's the funny part.
From the streets of Chicago to the forests of Chicago, culminating in the battle with Goldilocks.
Wow.
See? Bears.
All the bears.
Yep.
Boy.
Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's a episode I can definitely wait on.
Or just skip altogether.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Ugh. All right.
Sweet. Galliard, what does it mean to you?
To me?
To you.
I'm just saying it out loud.
To you.
Well, yeah, I've said the heart and the soul of the nation. It's that history. Do I recommend for a new player? I think that's
a discussion between the player and the storyteller.
It really is. And I hate to pull the situational card because it's kind of a cop out. Hi, Chris.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to use it.
Well, now I am because you did it first. But I do think it is kind of situational. It depends on. It really does depend on the player and the passion that player has. And you can tell as a new player, if they're dipping their toe in or they just cannonball their ass into the fucking lore of Werewolf.
Yeah.
The one who is excited and goes, "Hey, I memorized all the lexicon. Holy shit!" And they're so proud, and it's been their 5th day. Yeah, let that guy play a Galliard. Encourage that guy.
But I think also have a discussion with the storyteller about what their expectations are.
That is not what was asked, but that is a really good idea.
Honestly, I think that's key.
It is. So there.
Because,
good job, Joey.
Porter, we know what his expectations are because he said them on air several times,
Repeatedly.
My storytellers.
Ring the bell, pricks.
My storytellers' expectations are drastically different than Porter's, And I think that's partly due to the fact that, we're doing it all over Discord and we're not doing it in a physical manner, but, that's where we're at.
Yeah, and I think being an online game would change the rules to a certain extent.
It depends if it's text-based.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't expect anyone to type all, but at the same time, we live in a world with copy and paste, so if you can't work Control-V, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Then, out of curiosity...
That is plagiarism.
Then out of curiosity, Chris, when you do your game over Discord, do you guys use cameras?
We do not.
No?
It's all just voice.
Okay.
But the funny thing is like most of the people in our group, like we all live pretty close to each other. Only one of them lives in like California. Mm-hmm. We had another member that we did use the forums for our game finder, and we found somebody.
Hey, look at that.
But unfortunately, he didn't work out.
Oh.
And that was a decision he came up with, and he, politely, walked himself out. So it was cool.
Was he a disaster?
What? No.
Hey, you don't have to answer that, but sweet, he was.
We'll talk later. But, we can have a physical game. We really can. And it's something that we might actually look into later.
Is it just convenience?
But for right now, yeah. The Discord is convenient because one person's all the way in California. He can still be with us, via Discord, while we're all gathered up together, chucking dice and having a good time.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that's probably going to be brought up later.
So,
just a heads up there.
It's something that, I'm hoping that we can actually get to do soon.
That sounds good. I would want to thank you for joining us, Chris. But I believe it's about that time to do our wrap-up.
Yeah.
And I believe we have a Cubs Corner.
Oh, we got one this time.
So we got a Cubs Corner. Yes, we do. And this actually came from our own Discord.
Right on.
Like 10 minutes before I left.
Okay, so...
They're on it.
Yeah, they are. The Cubs Corner's question is, what is willpower used for? And what does it look like when somebody is out of it?
All right. Now, as our guest, would you like to field that one, Chris? Or do you want to...
Take a crack at it?
Or do you want to pass? Or you're going to get dibs here. You're the guest.
Do you want to pass or play?
Right. I'll
big money, no
crack
whammy.
at it, sure.
All right, he's playing.
Get to whacking.
No.
Wait, no. That didn't come out right.
No.
Not on camera, sir.
Above my head. So no, willpower is determination. It's your grit. It's your willingness to do something and make sure it succeeds. Is kind of how I view willpower. And when you're out of it, I would say it almost looks like exhaustion, like a mental exhaustion, not a physical exhaustion so much, because you can only withstand so much, mental attack, I guess, before you're just kind of drained. So that's kind of how I would wrap that up in a nice little pretty package and send it off there.
Okay. Danny and or Joey, anything to add?
No. I like what Chris said.
Well,
it's a mental exhaustion when you're losing it.
And I mean, there's if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. And that really, it's your willpower. Your willpower is what you're going to stand for. Mm-hmm. It's the hill you're going to die on.
It's your will to survive.
Yeah. And to succeed and to get that thing, whatever it is, done. And I like what you said about mental exhaustion and, not having the ability to care for stuff. But I think it also comes into play with, other supernatural beings have abilities that will roll you on a mental and emotional level. Mm-hmm. If you can't resist it with your willpower.
Well, it's not only that, it's also our ability to kind of see these horrors and not completely lose our shit either.
Right.
Guru see a lot of shit on a day-to-day basis, and if they don't have the will to carry forward, that's kind of how they fall into Hirano. Mm-hmm. And that's another topic for another time.
Certainly is. But to take this home, if I may, from a more practical game mechanic aspect, willpower can be used to grant successes on rolls. Mm-hmm. Botch insurance.
Botch insurance, yes.
Insurance.
It's used for various gifts and or rights. It's used to keep, you talk about other supernatural, to resist certain, mental attacks and things of that nature. It's used to help manage rage and frenzy. And without that willpower, I think it's important to point out that you have no internal defense against your own rage.
Which is just frightening.
Right. And that will lead to the eventual losing of your rage. And in that, the losing of the wolf.
Yeah.
And then what the fuck are you?
Just a husk.
So how
Just
do
a dickhole.
people... How would a character that was running low on willpower, how would they regain that willpower?
Well, that works through nature and demeanor. Can affect your willpower gains. You can... Sometimes it's just a matter of, hey, I'm having a good day when I woke up. I got an extra willpower. Hooray. Successes, certain successes in the game. You did something just awesome. Your storyteller can award something. It can be tied to your auspice. There are ways to get it back. But you definitely... it's easy to look at rage, gnosis, and willpower and go, the willpower's fine. But no, you don't want to run out of it. You don't want to run out of anything there.
Yeah, don't run out of anything.
Keep all of those.
Yeah.
Keep all of it. But I think that will hit our Cubs Corner.
Yes.
Very cool. Who's that question from?
That actually came from Sean.
Nice. Thanks, Sean.
Who doesn't want Cubs Corner to go away.
See?
Nice.
And if any listeners don't want it going away either, send in more questions.
Send in more questions.
Send in the questions because we need them. Well, we also have another little segment that is yet unnamed.
Right.
Coming soon?
No. Coming now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right this second.
Oh, wow. Here, hit us.
It's being implemented now.
Yeah, now.
Well, this is news to me, so...
It's the it's the inspiration station. Yeah.
We can't even say that with a straight face.
So if you think you got something better, why don't you hit us up with your ideas for what this travesty should be called?
This travesty.
It's almost like the Rookie 5 all over again. And it's almost like I planned
I
that
like
shit.
Rookie 5 personally.
You're the one, huh?
I thought it was neat.
You're the
I
one.
liked it.
He's the one, everybody. He's the guy.
He's the
Blame
one
him.
who said keep Rookie 5.
I think he was. He might have been the guy I shot that to. He's the reason you had to deal with it for as long as you did. But, here we go.
Probably.
Inspirato Station, whatever. And the idea is we're going to go around the table and talk about something, be that an album, a TV show, something we're reading, something we're watching that has either provided us with inspiration or we think would provide someone else with inspiration. So we're going to go around this table and we're going to start. Joseph, what do you got for us?
I am currently reading a book called No Such Thing as Werewolves. I got the book, which is written by Chris Fox, from Amazon in paperback, and it is really kind of awesome. It's obviously about werewolves, and there are such things as werewolves.
That book says it's not.
Well, don't judge a book by its cover.
Oh, there you go.
That there's a werewolf on the cover.
There is a werewolf on the cover.
So should I not believe there are werewolves in the book?
Read the title. There are no such things as werewolves.
But then there's a werewolf.
So
There's a very real mixed message going on.
Contradiction.
But
I feel like I'm being lied to.
It's kind of an Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider vibe,
Interesting.
but with werewolves. And werewolves, there's a good guy, bad guy perspective that happens.
Okay.
So I'm digging it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is, there's no such thing as werewolves?
By Chris Fox.
By Chris Fox?
By Chris Fox.
So this sounds like a Kitsune trap to me.
No, it's
Son of a
not.
bitch.
It's a real
It
book.
totally is.
It is a real book. I'm looking at it right now. All right, Chris, do you have anything that you could recommend for people? I know you and Danny are completely on the fucking spot, but
When Joey was talking about her book, I remember what I'm actually reading, and it's a book series by Simon R. Green called the Nightside Series. Mm-hmm. And it's about a detective who resides in like this little pocket dimension nestled in between our world and London somehow.
Okay.
And all manner of weird stuff can happen in this place.
Porter's
And
got
it
his
talks
hand
about
raised.
Angels. Okay.
so Chris, I just wanted to know if there were werewolves.
in
London.
There are.
Werewolves in
But as
London.
much as there are werewolves, there are vampires, there are demons, there are angels, there's fairies. There's all kinds of stuff in here, and it's just a giant toy box full of ideas and stuff like that. And actually, I've pulled some inspiration for one of my characters that I'm running in a different game. Sorry, not Werewolf, but...
Boo.
I know.
Just kidding.
Hey, I'm a game store owner. I've got a bunch of games. Okay?
That's why I said I was just kidding.
Go ahead. Talk about it. We'll edit it out later.
Hey, we didn't do that joke this time around.
No, we didn't.
We just did.
Now.
I know, but we didn't just until now. Anyways, so it's just got a lot of fun stuff in it. And the main character, he's actually a detective who his trick, his knack or whatever is he can find anything. If he just opens up his mind and he's receptive to a lot of stuff, he can locate just about anything in the world, be it secrets, be it actual objects, ideas, things like that. And it's just really kind of a fascinating, unique world.
And what is that again? One more time for the audience.
It's the Nightside Series by Simon R. Green.
Okay. Danny.
My turn.
Your turn, buddy.
As far as inspiration for what we're doing here,
It's anything.
Metallica.
Okay. And what's that?
Explain to me what a Metallica is.
I have a feeling if someone who's listening to this podcast doesn't know who Metallica is. Okay, the band Metallica, heavy metal band, power rock since 1982, I believe.
Uh-huh.
There is a song for... You can very easily find a song for each tribe.
That's interesting.
From Metallica?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Child's Guy, go.
I don't know it offhand. I know a couple of them, but I think that'd be a little ridiculous to just try and name right now.
Mother.
There you go.
Perhaps one.
That's probably your children guy right there. Thank you. Good job, Porter. Wherever I may roam, the Silent Striders.
I was going to say that's not a tribe.
But that's the Silent Striders. I mean,
It could also be Creeping Death.
Yeah, like I said, you could probably pick a song by Metallica for each tribe. Maybe even 2 or 3 songs.
Bone Gnar's Low Man's Lyric.
Oh, that's my favorite. That was one of the ones I had. But again, didn't want to just sit there and rat off every tribe and every song.
And this is this is James Hetfield and the Metal Men?
Yeah, yes. James Hetfield. Yes.
The band Metallurgy, everybody. If that's
Allergy.
if you like that's right.
Metallica.
Metallica. Got it. Now it's weird wild stuff.
Hey.
Now Now, for me, I am just finished. It wasn't a series, but I know there are others that aren't part of the series, but they're akin to it. It was a book, and it wasn't so much supernaturally themed, but it was important. It was about trying new things.
Okay.
It's called Green Eggs and Ham.
You son of a bitch.
By Dr. Seuss. And, Dan's so irritated right now. He looks so mad. He's like, you put me through this ordeal for that joke?
You son of a bitch.
No, actually.
I'll see you guys later. I'm out.
No, the real thing here, I do have real stuff. I think, and there's a few in my mind, but I think right now, I want to talk about Wayward Pines, which is a show...
Yes.
That it's not a brand new show.
No.
So I'm behind the curve on this, and my bad. But I discovered it on Hulu recently. And there's 2 seasons, and I would argue that the second season is just the hottest of garbage water. So stay away from that. But season 1 had a really great cast. It had this really intriguing premise about a Secret Service agent who was going to look for a couple other colleagues who've gone missing. And winds up in this town... that is not what it appears to be. And there's like a mystery there. And what I found there is it could be some useful stuff for something more Pentex related or corporate related, maybe DNA, but that kind of Twin Peaksy, something's not right here
Yeah, yeah.
I think you could find inspiration through the 9 or 10 episodes of season 1, whatever it is. But it was definitely worth watching. Not going to change your life, but it's a good time, and again, a great cast.
Yeah.
So
I'll put it on my list.
So there's our first edition of Inspirato Nation something. Name it better.
Email in. Tell us a better one.
Email in. Do it better, because we did a bad job naming it.
What's that email, Danny?
Oh, look at it.
Oh, email. Oh, yeah. We have email.
Yeah, what is it?
What is it?
Rage across the internet? Nope.
Nope.
Rage across podcast at gmail.com.
There it is.
See, we should have had Porter do it.
But I would have screwed it up because it was your turn to screw it up.
Yeah, you haven't screwed it up in like 3 weeks now.
That's like rageacrosspodcast at gmail.com is in fact the email. You can also find us on Twitter, on the Facebook. You can, of course, get us at our home Discord and say hi to the rest of the Rage Across extended family, our community there. Some really great folks. You can go to our Freddy Chris's shop, Strange Empire Gaming, through a link in our homepage. It's I know it's still a work in progress.
Yes, it is. I'm getting there, guys,
but
someday.
The link exists.
2028.
2028.
Link exists, so we did our part. Dude. Again, if you like what you hear, please, go rate us. 5 stars is amazing. It helps. It's a huge deal in the business end. It means a lot. It helps get the word out. It helps get us into other people's ear holes, which is either a fun trick you can play on them or a great gift you can give to them, depending on how you feel about our show.
And we don't care what you write. That's really not important. It's the 5 stars. I mean,
if they want to write something nice about it.
Well, I'd love a review, but if you don't want to write a full review, that's fine.
You can tell us that the sun is yellow. I don't care.
But you should care, because if they're going to write something nice.
But they don't have to.
Well, that's the point.
Agreed. No,
they don't have to give us this, but we'd love if you did.
Yeah.
You can also, if you feel that we deserve, or you can afford, these are tough times, so if you can afford and feel we deserve a little financial kickback to help us keep the lights on.
And the ice cream frozen.
Yeah, there's PayPal, and there's our Patreon, which we have some goodies we give back every month, and that's always a good time.
Yeah.
I like giving those out. You can ask some of the guys, a bit of a pain in the ass. Did you get it? What you think? Are you happy with it? All right. So that's that. We want to thank you so much for listening. As always, it means the world to us, and we can't wait to have you back next week. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me again, guys.
Oh, it was an absolute
I look forward to hanging out again.
Yeah.
Well,
good to see you, Chris.
Yeah. We'll make that happen again. Don't worry about that. But in the meantime, I have been your host, Porter, on behalf of Daniel Tyson, on behalf of producer Joey, Tom, who's hiding out somewhere in the tall grass. We want to thank you for listening. Say, be excellent to each other. And hey, we'll see you next time. You take care.